Okay. All right. Well, fuck, dude. We should. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna do the little intro thing, and then
Oh
we'll
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Cool, cool.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 101st episode of Concerned Dads Podcast. I'm your host, Katie M. Kane. Our guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is a producer. He is a writer. He is a goddamn mix and master extraordinaire engineer. C. Ray, ladies and gentlemen, from
Man,
Brain
oh
Spit,
man.
man.
Yes,
How are you
sir.
doing
Yes, sir.
today, sir? Good to have you. I've been
Right.
talking to you for like 5 minutes, but I'm like, I'm gonna do the intro. Just go, man.
It's all good. Ray checking in. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, brother.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. Just chilling. You're too kind though. You're too kind, man. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I don't know about all that extraordinary shit. I'm
oh
just trying to
man, it is.
make it happen, you know what I mean? But I appreciate it.
It is,
Yes, sir.
dude. I got to tell the folks first off, I've been mixing a couple albums. The first one already came out this summer, but I had to holler at C Ray to help me finish a couple songs. And dude, it's like stellar, man. You know what I mean?
Nah,
And
man,
not
thank you, man.
and really actually listens to the request of like, hey man, could you do this and do that? And then when it comes back, it's water. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, we trying, man. I don't I I want my shit to sound like I want it to sound. You know what I mean?
yeah,
When I make it, so you know, and it's the only unfortunate thing is doing it long distance. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because when people could be on deck and the mixing process is like, it just gets done faster because you're like,
yeah,
add this, and you could just get it done real quick. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But but I do try to like pay attention to detail if you have a request, and then your requests also they are specific, and you provide references. A lot of people will send me a fucking mess of a session, you know what I mean, and then they won't send me no references or anything. So then it will take a few tries back and forth before I get it
yeah,
dialed in and shit like that. But I appreciate the more information the better. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I do always appreciate when you send a reference and then a couple links to a song, you know what I'm saying, that it's inspired by and shit like that helps immensely. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Especially because it's not my genre either. You know what
yeah.
I
And
mean?
and dude, that is what I appreciate the most because I'm like, man, every like rap song I heard this guy do, like I'm pretty sure he mixed and mastered, but the shit I've heard you do for other artists is like it's dope. But I was like, this is different. I don't know if it, you know what I mean? I know he could do it, but I didn't
Yeah,
know how you were gonna react. And I was like, man, this sounds good, but can you please like
yeah,
turn the drums down a little bit, turn the guitar up a little bit,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and it
Now
was
look,
like, yeah, you were cool, and I was like, fuck, cool, because a lot of rap homies are like, fuck you, John. That's how it's supposed to sound. You know what I mean? Like, shut up. You already paid me. I already did the work. Fucking pay me again. You know what I mean? So I
oh man, yeah.
I
See,
appreciate it.
that, that is yeah, that was the situation I was gonna bring up next because it was cool to get like a super because all I mix is rap shit. So I know how to mix rap music. So 9 times out of 10 when I send it back, the client is like, cool, on to the next one. So it was cool to get like, yo, man, there's nothing left in this shit. Where's my shit? I don't hear this, I don't hear that. This shit sounds too rap. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And like I was like, oh shit. And I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? So I went back and and retooled everything and I let go of the rap mindset of it. You know what I'm saying? Because the the way that the way that you have the drums versus the vocals, the ratio, with the guitars and all that shit is way different. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So to me, like the vocals were starting to sound drowned out, and I'm used to having them like, prominent with the music, But when you explain that, it was like more about how the song feels,
yeah,
versus the clarity of everything. It was like, all right, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm glad
yeah,
it turned out because that is it's fun to listen to, and when I go back and listen to the first mix I sent you versus the one that you ran with, it's like crazy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
dude,
Yeah.
it is. Cause like the only person too that it was the DJ homie liked that
Mhm.
first mix. My bro DJ Sub, he was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
it." I'm like, "No, it's not, man. This is the second one." He's like, "Ah, like it." Oh, it's because you got fucking 8 bars to fucking sit there and loop and shit, dude. Like
Yeah, yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. It's cool. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
but that was super sick though.
yeah, dude. And that's I wanted to ask you because I've been listening to your like I don't fucking have Spotify anymore. Fuck those guys. I have Amazon Prime Music because it just gets looped
Fuck
in
them
with the
all.
back shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I know
But
we still be using them though, man.
y-
I'm on Apple Music. You know what I mean?
okay.
I haven't had Spotify yet. Everybody that I know fucking has Spotify though. I'm the only one that
Yeah.
I know, like my family, and I have Apple Music. I don't know anybody else that does.
When it first came out, dude, I remember Tyrant gassing it up to me. And I
Mhm.
asked him to look for 3 songs on there, and they didn't have any either 3
Yeah,
songs. I
yeah.
was like, "They don't have that? They don't have that?" I'm like, "Man, fuck Spotify." You know what I mean?
Oh
Th th
man,
that
yeah,
and that
that's too
was the
bad.
you know, but it I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't wanna be a super hater, but I was listening to your stuff on Amazon Prime, and
Yeah.
it dude, and it's the catalog is deep, and it sounds very West Coast, you know, like the stacked snare drum and the deep bass and all that too. It's pretty dope, man. Can you talk about
Thank you, man.
some of your influences, musically, like, that you grew up listening to? Because I feel like I can hear some of it, but it's
Mm.
cool to hear you talk about it, you know what I mean? Like, the
Yeah,
influence
yes.
like, production and writing, man, because you do both, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so Bone Thugs and Harmony, first.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Uh
Fuck yeah. I love
and
Bone Thugs, man.
and I remember when I was real little, my mom had like a Technotronic tape.
Hell yeah.
And and uh and that was the first time that I heard like some like
Dun, dun,
rhythm
dun,
bass,
dun,
you
dun.
know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
some real upbeat type shit. And
Yeah.
so I would listen to that. And then I heard Bone Thugs and Harmony, and then I was obsessed from there. So when I first started making music, it was it was that style and sound. You know what I mean? So Bone Thugs and Harmony, they have a particular sound, and like DJ Unique, their
Yeah.
producer for a lot of their early shit. Like some of their shit sounds like West Coast.
It
You know what
does,
I'm saying?
bro.
Like the tempo and the fucking drum patterns and
The
and uh
piano
and
too,
the
man.
pianos and the synths and shit like
Yeah.
that. So like a lot of that um influences in there. Obviously the style, you know what I mean, and all that. That's like duh. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
with the
So,
fast rapping and all that, but uh but
did
I
you
think
rap fast a lot more when you were younger? Because
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I hear
fully,
you do it
fully.
sometimes, but, like, I like where you're at right now as far as
Oh,
making
thank you,
songs.
man. Nah, I
Yeah.
appreciate it, man. To try to maintain some kind of balance, you know what I'm saying, if possible. But yeah, when I first started rapping with uh with the homie, it was exclusively fast. You know what I'm saying? Like in every song, and the first little tape that we made, the first little CD, um, like it was such a thing that we rapped fast that we did one song where we didn't rap fast. You know what I mean? Like on the whole thing. So it was like a little extra. You know what I'm saying? But when I think back on it, I'm glad that there is a balance between this shit now. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times, if you're not good at it, it gets samey. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like every song starts to sound like, because people can do it, but they don't know how to ride different pockets. You know what I'm saying? Like in the beat. So they're very rigid. Like yeah, sure they can flick the tongue and they can do that shit, but they're very rigid in their structure. And then when they do when they may just maintain that structure song after song after song, then it's boring. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of takes me out of a lot of these artists' music that do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I could do a whole album this fast, but I feel like there would be so much variety involved, with it that it wouldn't seem like I was I was being samey. You know what I mean?
yeah. Because
Yeah.
it
And
is, dude. It like the challenge people want when they like one song, they
mm,
want that same shit again. You know what I
true.
mean? And it's like,
And that's
fuck.
true too. That's kind of tricky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah,
man, I could maybe do it 2 or 3 times, but
right.
after that, it's like I can't fucking change it any more ways. Like it's
Yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
right.
Hard Liquor and Mary Jane and Twist and Blow were two of my most popular songs. It's the same shit. You know what
Mm,
I mean? There's a girl singing the chorus. There's one of my homies, well, two homies on Twist and Blow are on there. It's just we're
right.
just talking about smoking weed and partying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
they sound very it's the same shit. You know what I mean? And
yeah, yeah,
I feel like I did it again with that party in my pocket one, and then I can't do it again, man. You know what I mean? Like I'm not inspired to make that
yeah.
type of that one. Like it's like, man,
Right.
I'm gonna sing about girls or fucking being sad or some other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with evolving the sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like the way that I try to look at the shit is like, because a lot of people do get concerned with age, and
yeah,
and how long you're doing it or what have you, and I think that as long as your perspective is like shifting, with your, if you're like living your life and you're learning, you know what I'm saying, and you're gaining knowledge and you're trying to be a better person, you know what I'm saying, like while you're on your path and shit, that should be able to influence your music,
yeah,
so you should be like, in my mind, like, yeah, I don't make no party shit no more either. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I could make like a party type of record from a different perspective.
yeah,
It'd still be a party record, but it wouldn't be from me getting trashed and talking about my hangover and shit like that. It could be something
yeah,
different. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But and and even change the change the overall sound of it. You could keep the content the same, and the listener will tune into that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So that will give you a chance to like, still tap into that lane for the listener, but keep it, relevant and fresh. You know what I'm saying? And not feel samey for ourselves. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
What about Nate Dogg, man?
Man, R.I.P. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
man,
man.
I could hear that shit in there too. I'm like, fuck yeah, he had to
Yeah.
been,
Now, of
you
course,
know,
man.
like,
Yeah, yeah. The man. Yeah, he's got like some of the man my favorite hooks of all time. Hook King.
yeah,
I think. Um, Yeah, man, gone way too soon.
yeah,
He's like one of the artists. I don't really have a desire to like um collaborate with, you know, very many artists. Like
same.
I don't know why, but I don't care.
Yeah,
You know
me
what I mean? Like
neither. There's a
as
couple
far
though
as
where
far
I'm
as I'm
like,
concerned,
he's dope. I want to work with him for sure. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and
Oh,
it's hard for me to feel that way. I
yeah,
don't know, why, but there's only like literally like a handful of artists that I was really be like, yeah, I want to do something with that person. And Nate Dogg is one of those. You know what I'm saying? So it's still, you know,
yeah,
sucks that he kicked out so soon, because that is one of the collaborations that would have been sick, I feel.
yeah. And man, I just the chorus part too is just I was always around some rappers that were way tighter than me at
Mm.
rapping. You know what I mean? And so that was my strength was I could sing something catchy
Right,
for the
right,
chorus. You
right,
know what I
right.
mean? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just whenever he would put out an album, like that fucking G Funk Classics Volume 1, I remember in high school going
Oh
to
my God.
every fucking Tuesday checking for it to come out, and it fucking I'm like, man, when is it? What the hell? And then I think they ended up
Crazy.
they put it out independently, I think, but that it was all old shit when it came out, and I still just loved it. You know what I
Oh
mean?
man,
And
yeah,
that one, the Red
it was
CD
hard.
he had with the song with Fabulous on it too. I was like,
Yeah,
dude, these are
music and me. Yeah,
yeah,
man, come on, man, crazy. Music
yeah,
and me is what that is one of the best. That's one of the best sounding and structured albums ever. I think, man.
yeah,
I think that people don't talk about that album enough because every song slaps on there,
yeah,
and and
yeah,
and and he had everybody. You know what I mean? Like at the time, who was like relevant and who should be on there. Like everybody played their part perfectly. Like that, I might go listen to that after this. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Just because goddamn, yeah, yeah. But of
yeah,
course, heavy Nate Dogg influence as well. You know what I mean?
yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I could hear it, and it's dope. You know what I mean? What about Brain Sick? Is that like a group that you started with, or is that like your record label? Like what? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, that's the label. Brian said
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't start it though. Twisted Insane started
okay,
it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and he came out to Tri Cities for a show. Firing Squad brought him for a show, and uh, and we performed that night. And he dug the music, and I started sending him beats for uh, Insane Asylum, and uh, and then I would send the beats and started just making music from there. And then he sent me some. He sent me a few records to get on, whichever ones that I'm on there. They'll come to mind. Obviously, pick your poison. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
The one we shot the fucking video for. But yeah, he had me get on that, brought me out for the video, and then that was it, man. You know, we just been making music since then, and and you know, we got a few projects in the works right now. I'm not gonna. I can't say anything about him. I'll let him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
All that, but the way that the music is sounding is crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm actually excited. You know, and inspired by the shit that he's been sending me lately. You know what I mean? Because it makes me want to step my game up. You know what I'm saying? And that's like that is part of like what one of the main things that I enjoy about the Brain Sick and the members therein is that everybody is inspired, by each other. Everybody keeps putting out heat, like
yeah,
every time. You know what I mean? So it's like, God damn, man, I never ripped a song like that before. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I want to try that. I mean, I'll make something like this. Like, God damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is cool when everybody makes music, but everybody also has like a unique perspective on it. You know?
yeah. And it
Yeah,
is, man. I want to hear shit that makes me want to make something dope. You know what
right.
I mean? And
Absolutely.
most times it comes from hearing someone I think is talented do something different,
Yeah,
than I've heard them do. Because it's like man, pushing you, it's evolving. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's cool to not have to like stray outside of your camp and shit too to get that inspiration
Yeah,
and that variety and shit. Like that's cool. You know what I mean? To not have to stray too far to find cool shit. You know what I mean?
yeah, for
Yeah,
real, dude. It's good when it's standing right next to you. You know what I
right.
mean? And it's like
Absolutely.
I understand why guys will book. It's like we're gonna kick it for a fucking month and see what we make. And
Right.
usually, it's like if those guys
Right.
are actually doing work for 8 to 10 hours a day for 30 days, there's like a couple albums worth of shit right there,
Oh yeah,
bro. You know what
yeah.
I
You
mean?
would, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. At
So
least.
and that, to come up with that much material separately would take significantly more time, I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
And it does. It does. When you're working with like a team and shit, like it's way different. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
I'm sure it seems like it's way easier too. Like
yeah,
it's not even that you're doing like a third. of the work only, and the rest of the shit's out of your hands or something. Like, even if you are intimately involved, with making the song and shit, like when everybody's energy is involved, like it just feels like it clicks. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, easier. I don't know. It's very cool. And sometimes I feel like making music by yourself gets like monotonous. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And fucking kind of boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, it is. I have to like read something or watch something different or call somebody, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
and I'm like,
Absolutely.
and sometimes, bro, people will get a random I'm like, "Hey man, do you remember this one time? Can you tell me
Yeah.
that story again?" You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
And I'm like, "Cool, man, I'll call you some other time later," you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
fucking
That's
weirdo,
good
John.
though.
I'm like,
Nah, I don't think that's weird because the way that life is structured right now, it's all loops. Where like every day that we get up, we do the same old shit, and we're in the same routines, and our minds don't think outside of that routine. You know what I'm saying? And so when you do like you did, and fucking call somebody who's not in your routine real quick, or do something that's not in your routine, that helps. Like, you know I feel like that's what I have to do as well, to get my mind like readjusted and like recalibrated and shit. You know what I'm saying? Or like remove myself from from uh from that loop for a second, and
"Yeah,
observe, and then go back in, and do what I need to do and shit. But I don't think that's weird at all.
cool.
I do
Yeah,
the same shit. Yeah.
yeah, cool." Um So I also I think that was like 20 minutes or something. I was like 20 on weed, 20 on music, 20 on I
If
was
I,
like, "So weed, man."
yeah, yeah,
So when we're emailing back and forth mixes and
yeah.
shit, you informed me that you're a cultivator also, and I was like, "What the fuck? No way, man." I was like, "I gotta get him on my show." When I was on TJ's show and I got to talk to you, I'm like, "This guy's dope. I gotta get him on the show." But once you said cultivation, I was like, "Man, we got a podcast, bro."
Yeah. I'm just learning little by little, so it's like, uh I see how involved it is, you know what I mean, to get like to really like get it to where it's in like the customer's hands and shit, like from
Yeah,
from seed to that. Like, it's pretty fucking crazy, you know what I mean? So it's like, uh, yeah, I never thought that I would like be involved at all, outside of smoking it myself or what have you. But it's pretty interesting, you know what I mean?
and
So
and so it's
yeah.
mainly just that work. Do you also cultivate at home too?
Nah,
No,
nah,
just
nah,
that
nah,
work.
nah. No, I know. I barely smoke now, actually. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying? Like, I like edibles, tinctures. Um, there is something called a SIP, and those are very cool. I like those. You probably
what's
find
that?
them. I don't even know. It's just a little liquid shot, 100 milligrams.
Oh, okay.
So you can mix it with like a soda or whatever. But
Oh, okay.
but yeah, I feel like I perform better in my day to day when I'm not smoking every day. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's good.
And
I feel like I'm stepping in that direction, and just
yeah, man.
my
Yeah,
voice too. I'm like I wanna make some butter, make some cookies this week, and
yeah,
because I
yeah, yeah.
always do that before Christmas to give to friends and fam. But I want to do it for myself too, so that I
Right.
am inhaling less fucking combustion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know, man. After a while, it start to feel like dirty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, inside, it's like, God damn. Like, I don't know. I don't like that feeling, but I take like regular intermittent breaks when I smoke. So I'll smoke for 3 weeks or whatever, and I'm not smoking like every hour on the hour, or what I mean, like a couple times a day or what have you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And then take a month off, or longer sometimes. When you smoke weed for any length of time, I can only speak for myself, by the way. So when I I'm talking
Yeah.
like I don't want anybody to think like I'm fucking blanket statement or anything. I can only ever speak, from my experiences or what have you. But when I when I smoke for any length of time, that I feel like there's some kind of like mind fog that accumulates over time. So when I take those breaks and shit, and it's like we were talking about stepping back from the loop or what have you, and it's like it's cool to like get that clear mindedness, when you haven't smoked for like a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
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 You
So
start to
like,
dream too. You start to dream like crazy shit.
yes.
Your dreams are
Yeah.
like, because like I can't speak to. I'm not a fucking scientist or whatever. but there's something about cannabis that limits your ability to dream when you sleep. It like skips a stage of sleep or something like that. You know what I mean?
Uh
So it's very interesting. I should know more about it, but I don't. But yeah, it's very interesting. But when you stop smoking and then your dreams start to like get wild, like it's crazy.
yeah. The times, well, because I've had to quit to get a job or on probation, but yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah,
Um,
crazy.
and then is that I think that there's a dye. I read that Safeway had these like macadamia muffins or something, and they're green, right? So there was like some yellow or blue dye or something in the dough. But I was like, damn, those look trip. And I was like, macadamia nuts are pretty good. Let's fucking get
Yeah,
some of those. Like me and my lady at the time both ate one like after
mm,
dinner. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
fuck, the next morning I was just like, did you have fucking weird dreams? She was like, yeah. And like when I was like, it had to have been those muffins. You know what I mean? And
That
it
you got from
was.
the
It was
store?
yeah, but it's the dye.
What?
They it because that dye I think is in Mountain Dew too, but it's
Mm.
the amount of it. I think they just put a shit ton of it in
Oh,
that
whoa.
dough. You know what I mean? Because the color was like smacking. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, yeah.
whoa, those look cool. I was like, I want to try that. You know?
Right, right. Whoa, that's crazy. I never heard of that at all.
Yeah. But when I
Wow.
was a kid too, the red FD and 6 red,
Mm.
the red dye, I used to be allergic to it.
Oh,
So
okay.
like my mom, it only took a couple times. Like I drank that red high C or something. She was like, it's
Uh,
gotta be the
uh,
red. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, you gotta stay away from all that shit, man. Yeah, we try to like read the labels, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
for whatever, for especially for the kids. We still let them like be kids and shit. Yeah, of course. They
Yeah.
can have fun with their intake or whatever, but yeah, we try to like really tune into that type of shit
Yeah.
for
Same,
sure.
man. Same. Um, so on the cannabis tip, it's does Nevada allow home cultivation?
I think so. It's like recreationally available.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I mean? So I
Do
think
they
you can have
sell
like your little ounce or your little limit on your plants or whatever. Again, don't quote me on that though, because that's probably something that I don't know all the legalities in depth. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? So I know that it's available recreationally and all that, and you can have your, like I said, your ounce on you, and
Yeah.
somebody that I work with was talking about that he wasn't growing at home anymore. So I imagine that there's some type of limit or stipulations for that as well.
Yeah. Well, because I
But I've,
just
ne- I've never done it at home though. Have you?
yeah, like I've worked for a few people at indoor facilities, but everything else has been outdoor at my crib. I just barely did an
Okay,
indoor cycle when I was in Spokane for those couple of years. But
nice.
most of my experience is just doing it myself outside.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, right on.
And so it just yeah, when I was a kid, I was just always trying to get to the source, right?
Mm.
And then it's like my cousin, like I remember I was still on probation for felony weed charge, but I remember coming to visit him and he had like fucking 18 plants in his backyard and they were fucking huge. They were like 6 feet tall. And I was
Damn.
like, damn, cuz was like, it's like this now. And he's like, I got my medical card. I was like, you don't have cancer or fucking AIDS. You know, like you're just a fucking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he was an athlete, played baseball, so I think it was his wrist or something was wrong with him, and he's like, nah,
Right.
man, my wrist, my pain. I'm like, you're shitting me. And it just was like the ultimate inspiration right then and there. It was like, I could fucking do this shit too. I just got to get off probation and get out here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
that
so that,
medical card, that's crazy.
dude, it was like that was the mission after that. It was like, holy fuck. As soon as I got off paper, I moved to Portland and started
Mm,
growing weed. You know what I mean? And
nice.
I don't know, dude. It felt so cool because I was like, man, I have this charge on my record. I'm not gonna fucking.
Mm,
It stopped me from so many jobs already. I'm like,
yeah,
fuck.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, I
Yeah,
might as well do something that I'm passionate about, you know? So
may as well.
yeah. And then a
And
bunch of the jobs, like my weed resume is pretty fucking good, dude. Like I work mad retail and production. So, and a lot of those companies, dude, when it was still medical, there was a lot of fucking passionate people,
mm,
you know, that really cared about the quality and safety of their products. And a lot of those people couldn't get rec licenses, you know,
right.
and either based on how much capital they had or zoning or, you know, some states too, like it would be like a lottery type thing, you know,
Mm.
there was only so many awarded. And it's like, fuck.
Usually always how it is. Yeah,
Yeah. And so those passionate people, once they can't sell their products to the store anymore, it's like so many people have just been quitting the past year, like at
right,
home. Like you're talking about your buddy at work saying he doesn't grow at home anymore. Like so many people
mm,
are doing that. And it's like, I
right,
don't ever
right.
want to stop, man. I always want to have a couple plants going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like
No doubt.
I just, I don't know. I feel like if it's going to be legal, people should be allowed to grow their own at least. And
For sure.
in Washington, you can't. Like their rec law says you got to buy it from the store. I'm like, man,
Oh, really? Ah,
yeah,
that's too bad.
yeah. And
What's
I
it
don't
like in
know.
Oregon?
In Oregon, you can have 4 plants.
For okay.
Yeah, with their rec law. In AZ, it was 6 plants.
What about for medical in Washington?
It's 6 plants.
Six plants. Yeah, I think that's what I've heard. Is
Yeah,
six.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you can have up to I think four cards as a grower.
Okay.
I think you can still do that in Washington. But it just
Well, you
sucks
have
when
multiple cards. Is
yeah,
that what you
because
said?
in Oregon, bro, that was the whole game. And
What?
then once it went rec, they're like, okay, this is the last year that you guys can stack cards like that. And they just dude, it went from if you have more than 4 cards, you have to register a seed to sale tracking system. And then it's like, okay,
Mm,
if you have more than 2 cards, you have to do it. And now I think if you have your medical card, no matter what, now I'm pretty sure you have to fucking have a login to Metric and say
oh
this is my
shit.
plan. I'm like,
They
that's
need to see
fucking
everything,
dumb.
huh?
Yeah, bro. Like
God
that's
damn.
dumb. You know, like that's dumb.
Oof.
And the
Wow.
only unless you do your 4 plants, you don't have to. You know what I mean? And I'm
Okay. Yeah.
like they're
Yeah.
like that's it. Only and I'm
Uh,
like, man, and it just every time I get an email update, because I signed up for all that shit when I was out there, it's just like it's like they're whittling away. I'm like, take it
yeah.
away
Yeah.
more.
You tying the noose. Slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And it
they
just
want to be involved on every level and get a piece of everything possible. So I
dude,
imagine they'll
y-
continue
well, dude, and
to
that's
try to do that shit.
they're going after in Oregon, they're going after unlicensed growers.
Mm,
And to me, it's like you guys took away my ability to sell packs to the store. It's like I would rather sell packs to the store than fucking answer my phone and fucking meet someone in a parking lot, someone somewhere, you know what I mean? Like I would rather go to the store. It's like you guys could get that tax at the point of sale or fucking not.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I would pay it for the convenience, but it's like I can't get a license, so I don't
Mm,
know. I don't think that there will ever be a reform that changes that back to the way it was. You know what I mean? But it's
right.
still like, ah, man. There's so
Yeah,
many
that's
past
whack.
there's so many passionate people that aren't doing it anymore because it wasn't economically viable, you know?
Mm, yeah, yeah,
And
for
it's just
sure.
sad to me. Like there's a couple guys I still fanboy on IG that are still going.
Yeah,
So one Joshua Steensland, he's out there in Walla Walla, and then Pig Farm, OMMP Pig Farm. Those two guys, and totally different styles, but
mm,
like the man, every time I tried those guys' weed, it was fucking off the chain.
yeah,
And just
yeah.
the shit they're doing, the photos and the feed and everything, I'm just like, damn, hell yeah,
That's cool.
fellas. Yeah. Um, what about favorite strains, man? You got anything that's always a go-to or recommendation for folks when they're in your city? Is it okay to
Man,
is it okay to talk about like any of the strains or brands that your company has in the store? Like, can you talk about that at all?
I don't know because I don't know. I don't know exactly where they take everything to.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't.
So you're
Yeah, I
just in the
haven't even.
production?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going and seeing any of that type of shit. So I know the strains that are worked on and grown and shit like that, but I don't know. If I mean if I had any say so, I wouldn't want anybody fucking saying anything about it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I imagine they probably wouldn't want anybody saying anything. But one of my favorite strains is garlic cookies
Oh yeah.
out here. Yeah, at a dispensary called Showgrow.
Okay.
It's on Fort Apache and Tropicana. And
Dude, this is that where fucking Tupac got shot?
no, that's fucking Koval and Flamingo, I think.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. I can't Koval for sure. But yeah, Showgrow is nice. That's like really the only place I go. I've
Okay.
only went to when I first started coming down here, um, and more started popping up. I would go and see, you know, what some of these different locations had and shit. And I think Showgrow just has like the nicest setup. People, all the bud tenders are like knowledgeable. I don't gotta like ask twice for shit. I've never had somebody not be able to tell me what a string was like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But not even like which is like fascinating. I mean, I don't know if you're lying or what, but it's like you give me like a detailed description of the high and all this shit, and we go home and it's accurate. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I like that type of shit, man. So that's why
Yeah.
I really keep going in there because it's like no
Passion.
nonsense. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Passion.
Yeah, passionate people in there for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Because it is
and
like
Bio Jesus, garlic cookies and Bio Jesus is
bio
Bio
Jesus.
Jesus. They're always out of Bio Jesus, but look that shit up. Fire,
Damn. Okay.
straight fire. Yeah, purple goats as well. Uh, apples and bananas by Cookies is
Okay.
fire.
Yeah.
Um,
Do they have a cookie store out there too?
man, I don't think so. I don't think so, but then again, I don't know, bro. I really, I'm not even gonna hold you, man. I don't really be looking into like
Well, they
to
have.
like what's out here. I'm not sure if they do or not. I know that he started opening up, burning a bunch of stores, but
Yeah, he's got.
I
There's
couldn't
two
tell
of
you the
them
last time I looked.
in Portland. There's two of them now. There's one in
Two of them.
Southeast by down there by A Crop, and then there's one
Yeah.
out there on Halsey in the numbers and shit, like 148th and Halsey or something. But
Okay.
when I
Man, I
drove
can't.
by
Man,
there,
I
it
couldn't
was
see
all
why he wouldn't
blue.
have one out here. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
damn, man. And I
I'll
just
have to Google it and see.
it's hella pricey, but I'm not mad at the guy. I'm proud of him. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
It's
is
like
it is it super fire? Like, is everything like you ever get like any bullshit from out of there?
the two times I bought weed, it was good, but there's okay, dude. There's this strain called Smarties, right?
Mm,
And it's Form Cut Cookies and Blue City Diesel is the cross. And the time that I had it in Portland was from this guy called Proof Cultivar, was the rec company.
mm.
I'm not a sativa guy, bro, but when I smoked that weed, it was like a smart drug. Like it made me focus and
Yeah.
just clear and zone in and not fucking be distracted by anything. Like for 2 or 3 hours, it was like, holy fuck. It's like that's not normally how I
Yeah.
like to feel when I smoke weed,
Right.
but that was I could use that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was,
Yeah. Yeah. See.
and
Yeah.
we
I
got we
like
got
that.
we got 2 packs of it, and then it was gone. And then like a month later, the packs that we got 2 more. It had seeds in it, and so I was
Okay.
like, man. And I couldn't talk to the guy. It's just their sales dude. I wanted to talk to the
Mm,
cultivator. It's like, yo, is it just not stable? Did you guys have an AC go down? Shit started stressing the room. Like, what the fuck happened? And
mm.
then they didn't run it anymore after that. And so I
Oh
was just like,
dang.
but I
That's a
saw
shame.
I saw Burner has, and it's I don't know if he calls it Burner's Smarties or
Mm.
Cookies Smart. I don't know what the fuck, but it's on his menu. And it
Oh,
like
that.
that, but that was it's a totally different. I mean, they could know each other and pass it around. But I like wonder if he got it from Oregon or if he made his
Mm.
own. Because it's like
Yeah.
once you know
Yeah.
what the parents are, you could try it on your own. You
Right.
know, try a different
Oh
way.
yeah. That's. Yeah. Maybe they. Yeah. Maybe
But
they did it.
but I want to
It
try
sounds
that.
fire though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I want
Me
to
too.
try.
Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
that's with my cousin. He's experienced cold, the one that inspired me originally. I told him
Mm.
that too. Because the guy Kush for Breakfast is the dude on Instagram. He's the guy that originally bred it out here. And I don't know if he's Seattle or Portland, but
Right.
that's where the proof cultivar guys got it was from Kush for Breakfast.
Mm.
And the fucking I got his IG profile to follow me back, but I couldn't get them to respond to a message. You know what I mean?
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Because I was like, man, I want to have you on the show, bro. I have so many questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
And but it just that was one time where a strain that I liked I couldn't get again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's crazy. Yeah. That's a shame.
And
Well, you should
so
try that new one and see if it's the same
yeah,
shit or not.
burners. Yeah, burner shit. It
Mhm. Yeah.
might be better. You know what I mean? Or the same or as good as. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, if it's at least as good as, I mean, that's a win. I mean, if let me know if you do try it, because then I'll go seek it out.
Yeah,
See. Yeah, I like when you get like sometimes you get like a not like a game changing experience or anything, but when like you said, you're not used to smoking something that does that shit
chill
for
out.
you, like
Yeah,
really keeps you on point. Something that you said that I like that you said was that you could use that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I like functional shit.
Utility, man.
I like to keep a sativa for being active and an indica for the evening. You know what I mean? I prefer a hybrid, if anything, just for the balance. Do you know what I mean? Because if I smoke an indica during the day, bro, all I want to do is eat and sleep.
Yeah, take
You
a
know what I'm
nap.
saying? And it's just like, I don't like that feeling. At night when it's time to wind down and shit, then that's okay. You know what I mean? But I don't like to feel like that type of groggy, situation. Like if I
Yeah,
have something to do, and I don't like to smoke all the time when I have to do shit either. So
yeah,
it's only like select times where, like I'll, have like a sativa if I'm active doing something or whatever. But yeah, man, I find like I like if I have like important shit to do, then I don't smoke. You know what
hell
I
yeah,
mean? Just because like it's it takes away from my focus, I think. When you have to be like serious and shit, like I don't want to feel compromised like in any way. I
yeah,
still enjoy the feelings and shit like that, but I usually don't let that get in my way. You know what I mean? If I
yeah,
have to do something, I could wait. Because I know
yeah,
some people like, people I know and shit, some they smoke, you know, get up out of bed, smoke, eat, smoke, eat breakfast, you know what I'm saying? Smoke, eat lunch, smoke, go to the gym,
yeah,
smoke, smoke after the gym, smoke, you know what I mean? Like, god damn. And
yeah.
some people could function like that. I just can't do that shit.
I'm trying to get away from it because I'm noticing the slowdown and fogginess that you're talking about too. Because it is
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah.
and I used to blow just backwards all the time like that. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like 4 or 5 per day, like a pack.
savage, bro. Listen to me,
And
man.
and when you're talking about it feeling
Stop it,
dirty, like
man.
bro, it's
Stop it, man.
just through the water now, and that's it. You know what I mean? And just a
Bro.
couple bowls. Like now, it's like 2 grams per day is
Yeah,
what.
yeah, yeah.
But I'll smoke that 2 grams all day. I'll smoke a couple bowls,
Right,
go
right,
and
right.
do some
Right,
shit.
right, right.
All right,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is. It's lunchtime. You're describing it to a T. See, Ray. So
bro.
I'm like,
Nah,
yeah, I
man,
gotta.
I fully man, I could not tell you the last time that I smoked a fucking blunt. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I man, you gotta be a savage to do that now. I feel
yeah, yeah,
because I don't know, bro. I know everyone's different and shit, but I never got used to blunts. I could never get used to it. Like the having the tobacco, even in like you know a minimal amount like that, is like upsetting. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you'd be lit, fucked up. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like off a bloody smoke a blunt, like oof. When I used to get it in Washington, the one of the folks that I would get the shit from would just have it rolled up already for me in
yeah,
blunts,
yeah,
and so I would just be puffing on whatever, and but damn, I could never get around it. And then even backwoods, like I like the leaf idea and all that shit, but it's just like too harsh for me, man. Yeah,
yeah,
I couldn't commit, and I tried like even hemp wraps. I don't really like hemp wraps either. You know, like
yeah,
I'll smoke a joint, man, like the organic hemp, regular ass papers, and or like a glass piece. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like you know what I mean? Just keep it simple, man. Yeah.
yeah. Change the water, man. Like that's the main thing too. Is I'm trying to take better care of my teeth and
Mm.
just my health in general, and that's
Yeah, man. Yeah,
like
you're
I'm like
supposed to, bro. Yeah,
the combustion and smoke is not good for my teeth. You know what I mean? So
yeah, yeah.
I feel like edibles would just be healthier all around. You know,
Right, right.
eating a
Yeah,
cookie. It's
yeah.
not,
I would think so too, bro. Yeah,
you
100%.
know, it's not inhaling fucking combustion. It's like,
Right.
nah, you're supposed
Even
to
though,
shoot things and eat them for, for food. And if there's
right,
good stuff in there, then cool. But you're not really supposed to set shit on fire and inhale the
right.
smoke. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
not.
yeah. I mean, it's inflammatory, no matter
Yeah,
how you look at it. You know, smoke should not be ingested. You know,
yeah,
on any level. You know, I feel like it is toxic to the body and shit. And just because we find medicinal benefits in cannabis, then we like, we don't really talk about that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's
mhm.
like, hey, the smoke's still bad for you, bro. You
It
know what I
is.
mean? Like
Yeah,
people don't really say that shit, but that shit's bad for you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that's kind of what I've been like. I'm kind of like stepping back from actually smoking so much, you know.
yeah.
And then
It
also,
is,
bro,
man.
like dealing with cannabis like often, like being around it so much, it doesn't have the same appeal
Nope.
anymore. When you're around it
Yep.
all the time, it's like you're smelling it all the fucking time. You're handling it covered in it all the time, and it's like
Yeah.
not special anymore. And then just like who gives a fuck? Like kind of
The,
to a certain point, it's like I don't, I'm not like
the
enthused about
novelty
this
wore
like in the
off.
same way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Yeah, it's just like it just starts to feel samey, kind of. You still enjoy it and shit, but just overall, like in general, it doesn't have like the same. It doesn't hit the same. It doesn't carry the same weight when you are always around it. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Nothing special, man. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
yeah, just work. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it also it makes me pay attention when something is different or cool or you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I feel like
Mm,
I enjoy media, like a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Movies and music. It's easier to get into movies. and get lost in music and shit like that. You know, when you consume cannabis, I feel.
Yeah.
But uh,
And that's okay. Yeah, dude. So I think we got like 10 more minutes, but I wanted to just
yeah, you
ask you
do.
questions. Yeah, okay, cool. You're not in a rush. Okay. I wanted to ask you just about life too, dude, because I was like, man,
Mm,
20 on music, 20 on weed, 20 on life. Because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you seem like a real positive dude. And I remember when you were on Beers, Bongs, and Bullshit, I was like, that was the question I had. I was like, man, give us some shit that you're reading. You know what I mean? The rest of those
Oh yeah.
guys looked at me. I'm like, nah, this motherfucker's reading books, man. You know, like I could
Yeah,
hit.
sometimes you try to. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But dude, because it is everybody has rough shit happen, man. You know what I
hmm
mean? And you seem like you got a pretty good attitude and the output stays up. Like that's you've been at it
yeah,
for a while and still making it. A lot of guys, you know, from 20 years ago aren't making music anymore. You know what I mean? And
yeah. There's not very many. Yeah, bro, not very many at all. I feel, and even people that I'm a fan of are not really into it. You know, and that's fine, of course. But you know,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It has tapered off substantially. I feel like, and people just have other shit to do. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like that's it. I I, I enjoy it enough to keep doing it. That's it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If a day comes when I don't enjoy it like that, then I won't fucking do it. And that's it. And I'll find something else to do. I feel like my entire existence is not riding on any one thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like being held hostage or captive by a mindset or an outlook or some type of final goal. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you should be doing like as much as you can with your little bit of time here. And I think if you
yes,
maybe if you can like relax a little bit and do more things and like maybe not be so rigid and like I said, you know, outlooking goals and shit like that, you know, maybe you could improve your quality of life a little bit. So not everything is perfect all the time and shit, obviously, because it never is. But you know, I try to like look at things from, you know, like not just my perspective, you know, like try to take into account, you know, other views and, you know, opinions and things like that regarding topics or, you know, some that people talk about now with like shadow work.
yeah.
Maybe you've heard the term.
Brandy, my homegirl Brandy, she's like my witch
Mhm.
doctor. She sang a couple
Yeah,
choruses, but
yeah,
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 I
yeah.
love
That's right.
the
hmm
dude. I won't talk to her for like a year, but when I get a call with her, she'll do the card reading, and then
Yeah, that's like.
I'll tell her what's been happening, and
mm,
dude, just I'll talk to her for like an hour, and then I'm
yeah,
good for like a whole another year. You know what I
right,
mean?
right, right.
And
Yeah, that's.
I've been to mad counseling my whole life, bro. 12-step dance bullshit, fucking
mhm,
depression. Like, man, school makes me go, court makes me go, mom makes me
yeah,
go, whatever. You know what I mean?
right, right,
That
right,
shit just didn't ever really help. You know what I
right.
mean? But when I
Yeah,
talk to her,
yeah,
it does. And that's a term that she says is shadow work. You know what I mean?
yeah, man. Yeah, I really enjoy that, and you know, because you gotta like when you take more accountability for your actions and shit. You know, when you like really when you fuck up and you're like, God damn, like that was stupid. You know, like yeah, like I really like fucked up. I'm not gonna do that again. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start to do that more and more, then have the same you don't run into the same problems and issues that you did previously. It feels like every time that you like have one of those interactions with yourself, like damn, I fucked up. God damn. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to. Nobody ever wants to say that. You know,
Yeah.
everyone wants to be infallible like all the time and shit. But as soon as you can like, you know, break your own shell and really be like, damn, you know, like I don't like how this feels. I'm gonna make sure that I don't feel like this again. You know, when
Yeah.
Like at least for me, like when I started doing that, then then I stopped like getting in arguments with old girl. You know what I mean? And I stopped like, having just like little dumb bumps in the road and shit, like stuff that was just easily avoidable that I just wasn't paying attention. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, every time that I would have one of those conversations with self, then like obstacles come down and the road is a little bit smoother. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe that's how it feels after you talk to old girl. And also, like I think something that's very cool in like learning about yourself is like uh, astrology and shit like that. Like knowing like when you were born, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that it's extremely interesting. Your friend will know all about astrology if she's reading cards for you and shit like that.
Oh
And I think
yeah.
that's why that you feel better after you talk to her than you felt in therapy is because she's speaking to uh, a higher aspect of yourself. The people in
Yeah.
therapy at 12 step, they're only speaking to, your flesh, and she is speaking to your soul. And I think maybe that's why you feel better and relieved and you're like good to go after that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Simply. I'm no
Yeah.
expert, bro, so
No, no, it makes sense. And my youngest son's mom too. Like that's how we kind of like. I mean, we don't really click anymore. We don't really know each other that well. But the times that we spent and we were on to each other, it's like we would send each other cool shit to read.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know
Right,
what I
right, right.
mean? And she that
Yeah.
was like the first thing she asked me when we talked on the phone was like, when were you born? On what day and
Mhm.
time? And
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
she looked up the birth chart shit and said, I
Mhm.
was like, I was down after that, girl. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Yeah, that
yeah,
shit is interesting, man. I think it's fascinating, and I think it's cool that I think it's cool when you go to read about some shit and you actually recognize a quality, that's in a list of things or or what have you, or if you do it for somebody and shit. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like I don't know. I think that type of shit is interesting, and I think there's probably a lot more to it. You know what I'm saying? And like as far as the big picture is concerned,
yeah.
there's like an interesting saying I heard one time. It was like millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do, or something like that. It was some that doesn't
Hell
make much sense
yeah.
to me. It doesn't make much sense to me except for the billionaires using it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I fully believe that there's you know that existence in general is like energy, vibration, and frequency based.
Yeah.
All that shit is connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On some level. So I that's just like the type of shit that I be thinking about when I'm not making music. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Me
I
too,
enjoy
dude.
those type of questions and shit.
Yeah. Um, dude, yeah, there's a lot the YouTube because I homies are always watching shows and movies and I try
Mhm.
to take recommendations, but I'm usually just on YouTube watching weird shit. And a lot of the weird shit I watch too is
Yeah.
like just about history that was erased or not told. And it's
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah. Fascinating.
and
Yeah, man.
they'll like show the pictures from the books and the old maps
Hmm.
and stuff and how this place used to be called this place. And
Yeah.
all of like the like how every metropolitan area has tunnels underground.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? When I start watching the channels, I'm like, nah, they're out here in Athens, they're out here in North Carolina, they're out here in fucking Phoenix, Portland, fucking
Everywhere.
Pendleton. Like that just doesn't, you know what I mean? And so like they allude to like a mud flood, right? Like there was some
Yeah.
sort of and
Yeah.
Rogan be talking about on his podcast
Oh
sometimes,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
11,500 years ago. So and they don't
Yeah.
know if it was an asteroid or something, but
Talking about
whatever
what he
happened.
talks about that shit with like Graham Hancock when he comes on
Yeah.
there. They get into that shit real deep. Those are like my favorite episodes when they talk
Ye-
about that old shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is. It's like all of these buildings. are fucking way older than they say they are, and they're buried.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
not
I see.
and not
Like all those old pictures.
and not all of them are completely buried, right? And so that's why
Yeah,
there's tunnels and shit underneath. It's because that was what the city used to be
right.
before everything got destroyed and started over again.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
I fucking I wish there was more sources than these fucking crazy fuckers on YouTube, because they're not all crazy, I guess. You know what I mean? One is like a
Yeah,
couple. It's a dude and his lady, and they just
yeah,
travel to the
yeah.
cities and go on the little tours, and
Mm,
it's cool because they're paranoid. You know what I mean? Like the
yeah,
people in the
yeah.
town are paranoid, and they're paranoid, so they don't want to give each other any information. I'm just like, this is
Right, right,
fucking fun
right.
to watch, you guys. You know what I mean? But it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the mystery of it, and then also seeing that it doesn't make sense what we are told and sold as the
Oh yeah.
history of the world right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. And that's why I like looking into that type of shit because there's a 100% uh, a lot of information, that's being covered up that is probably immensely important. You know what I mean? Game changing, I
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah,
And it's like, and as time goes on and more information gets out there, more and more people are starting to think like us. Like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? Shit's not really adding up. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And then they start asking more questions. Well, what about this? Because that's how it started with me. Like
Hmm.
I was always um, like cautious of the Bible and
Yeah.
the
Oh,
stories therein. And
yeah.
I was even like as a kid and shit, I was just like, I mean, my young mind, I'm not thinking about anything outside of, just this surface level. I'm just like, man, these stories suck.
Yeah.
Nobody's living for hundreds of years, and what is all this? And you know what I'm saying? Like, it just never really like it. I used to be in church, and I used to be watching like my family members and shit, and my cousins, and everybody was just, hands up and just fully with the shit, and you know, so
Uh,
overtaken and crying, and I was just thinking like, this is just not this environment and this like what's going on is not vibing with me, even when I was young. So when
yeah.
I got older and shit, and I started like stuff started popping up on my YouTube and my recommended shit. I wasn't like looking for anything. Like maybe because of like Joe Rogan, probably. I
Yeah.
imagine he had somebody on, and then from there I started finding like more and more interesting shit, and then like the hidden history type thing, and symbols and what
Yeah.
symbols mean. Like
Yeah.
that's like one of the most fascinating things of all time for me. It's like
Yeah.
symbolism. You know what
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
saying? Like I love it all, man. Like the all of that, everything is hidden. I would love to know the answers to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Dan Brown, man. That he's a good author. One of his
Dan
last
Brown.
books. The
Sounds.
lost symbol is the last one that I read from him.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he wrote
yeah,
Digital Fortress. He's like the new Michael Crichton, man. Because when I was a kid, I grew up reading Michael Crichton. He
mm,
wrote Jurassic Park, Congo,
yeah,
Andromeda Strain, like all this ill shit that got made into movies.
yeah.
But Dan Brown is on his way. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like he's that new
okay,
dude.
yeah.
I like his shit because it's well researched. Like he read all those books and
Right.
wrote it
Yeah.
into his story. And I
Right.
I don't know, dude. The kids on YouTube sometimes it's like they're just recycling some material too.
Yeah, man, and that's yeah. You got to be
And
wary of sources because goddamn, anybody could. You can make a fucking YouTube page tomorrow, and you could just take whatever you want, man. Like not source at all. People just say whatever, and nine
yeah,
times out of you gotta like when you see some. At least for me now, like if I see something, I have to like do my due diligence every time because
yeah,
a lot of times that you see a lot of bullshit, and it turns out to be that. You
yeah.
know.
The headline clickbait is fucking real, dude.
Oh yeah,
Especially with the war stuff too. And then it's like I just feel like other people have access to my search and watch history, and they're coming up with the headlines based off of that too. You know, it's like
Man, who knows at this
let,
point, man?
like
You're
these
probably right.
let's
You know what I
let's
mean?
put these terms in there and see if you'll click on it, because that's what I find myself doing almost half of the
Yeah.
time now is clicking on the X or the three dots to say don't show me
Hmm.
this anymore.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
don't advertise this to me. Don't show me this
Right.
guy's channel. I want to watch that other guy's channel. Tell me
Yeah.
when he posts something. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Yeah, it's more and more invasive and obnoxious now. All of the
Yeah.
ads and suggestions, and especially on Instagram as well. Now you
Yeah.
you can't ever scroll and see just it. Maybe there's a way to do it. I don't know because I don't like get into the inner workings of these apps anymore. So maybe there's a way to only see the people that you follow. But goddamn, when I'm going, I see just page
Suggested
after
posts.
page after page, and I'm not following these people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But they're just there, just page after page. Like, I don't really want that. You know what I mean?
No. Look at
And
this
I'll be
famous
check.
person.
I'll go to see like the people I'm following and shit.
Yeah.
I'll
I
be
have
like,
to
man,
go
I haven't
too.
seen I haven't seen a post from such and such in the fucking ages. Like, what am I following them still? And I'll go in and
Yeah.
check and shit, and sure enough, I am. Sure enough, they posted, just a little bit ago, but you just never see it anymore because there's just so much other shit. It's
Yeah.
it's exhausting, man. Social media is like, I get why it's fun and all that, but goddamn, it's
Yeah.
exhausting.
It is,
I
dude.
just can't imagine anybody who wants to live their life, fully in, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and shit, because we all post and shit, but bro, we don't live on there like that.
Yeah. Like the robots too, dude. It kills me. Like that's the when I talk to porn girls on Twitter,
Mm.
they fucking rub off. Like the robots start fucking
Oh yeah.
follow they start following me and then
Mm.
reacting to my shit, and I'm like, that's not even a fucking real person, man. Like
Nah, the bots are out of control,
I
fully,
don't, you know what I mean?
fully. You don't know who is real, bro, anymore, unless you know for a fact that
Yeah.
this is this person and shit like that. At this point, man, and with like AI and deep fakes and like all this stuff, man, you don't know what the fuck you're looking at. Like 9 times out of 10, So
Yeah.
I don't really put too much. That's why I said like you just got to do your due diligence. Like no matter what it is, like no matter what you see now, if it's something that's interesting to you, you might want to just make sure that it's actually that shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just because like you just never know. We've all got. By a
Yeah.
headline or by articles or by a video and all that shit, and repost it or whatever, and it turns out to be some bullshit. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
what have you?
I'll
Yeah,
watch it for 10 minutes and I'm like, you fucker, you got me. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah,
you're not even going to talk about the shit. It was just in the
yeah.
goddamn headline. Like, whatever.
Right. Yeah, yeah. It's disingenuous, but these people you get paid for engagement and time spent and all
Yeah.
this. So on that level, I get why they do it. Especially, always see if there's a scandal or whatever distraction that's been put forth at the time, the war or the Johnny Depp shit or the Tory Lane shit or whoever the fuck,
Yeah.
whatever the Diddy shit, whatever scandal that they give to you,
Yeah.
like they know that shit drives engagement. So that's why you always see an uptick in content creators like making, even if they're just reaching and scraping the bottom of the barrel, as long as the headline says, as long as the headline pertains to whatever's going on, that somebody's gonna click on that shit, and they know that.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get the likes, it's gonna get the views, and they're gonna get paid. And that's
Yeah.
like on the simplest level, like that's really all it is. You know what I mean? They just
Yeah.
want to get paid.
Because the like the Sam Altman shit with OpenAI, like,
Yeah,
did you, I don't know if you're familiar, but the CEO of
I heard
OpenAI,
about it.
they
I heard
made
about it. Yeah, he walked
ChatGPT.
away, and he took all the top developers with him. and then they
dude.
just signed with somebody, right?
Well,
Who
the board
who
of
does he work for
directors,
now?
the board of directors fired him from OpenAI, and
Yeah,
then everybody fucking was like, "Fuck you, we'll quit
yeah,
too."
that's right. So yeah, so he didn't walk away; he was let go, and then
Yeah,
everybody
and
followed him.
yeah, it was like a
And
Jerry
but
Maguire.
who do they work for now? I
They
can't remember who it was.
they brought him back. They
They did. So
brought
he,
yeah, so he's back at OpenAI, but it happened on like a Thursday or a Friday, and through that weekend, it was just on Twitter was the drama, right?
yeah,
But it's like right after they fired him, they were hiring a new guy, and the new guy said, "Hey, I'm not going to work for these guys unless we can sell models of this AI because commercialization is the only reason I would ever take this job. And once I get there, I'm not going to do anything until we investigate what happened to Sam and why it happened. And I don't really want to accept this position fully until all of that stuff happens. This is just a formality. You know what I mean? After he does that, Microsoft goes to OpenAI and they're like, hey, we invested a lot of fucking money into your company and we like that guy. Why are you firing him? And they didn't really have an answer. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
they didn't really have one and they didn't want to publicize whatever happened. And
right,
so they hired him back. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
Microsoft is like, if you guys don't hire him back, like we're gonna take him and
right.
do we'll hire him
Yeah,
and do our own
I
shit.
think
Like
that
we
was a
don't need
scenario
you.
that I heard.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like we don't need you as a company if you're not gonna fucking have this guy running shit. That's why we
right,
put the money on the table, you know?
right.
And
Yeah,
so it was like it was dope to see someone with skill and talent have his folks look out for him like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But it's
yeah,
scary
yeah.
that the board of directors and it doesn't like it's like why did you guys fire him? Like was it some Bill Clinton shit? You know what I mean? Like was he fucking the secretary at work? Because I don't think you could
Who
really
knows?
that happens all the time. Why are you gonna fire a guy over that? It just is there had to have been something different. And so that's
Yeah, who knows?
the channels I watch on YouTube like the leading theory, but they milked that for a long time is what
Yeah,
really happened at OpenAI. Like they milked that for like 2 or 3 weeks in their headlines. But
right, right.
the main theory is that the mission statement for the company is that we're doing this to benefit all of humanity,
Mm,
right? And so they said the theory is that firing him would make their investors pull out their money and fucking bankrupt the company and end it, which would benefit humanity because the theory says that they have an artificial general intelligence, like one that you don't have to tell, like it's
mm,
actually alive and smart and aware. And they have a
right.
model of it. And so it's like some Skynet type shit is
Yeah.
why the board made that decision is the theory. Because it's like
Mm,
once you let that out, you can't control it. It's its own thing. You know what I mean? It's like you guys, and so they said that that's why they
huh.
fired Sam and what. And I'm just like, whoa. And so it just made me think about the Terminator. You know, I'm like, is that fucking
Mm.
old white dude actually fucking that Dyson, Miles Dyson from fucking Terminator? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Man,
is
who
he?
knows? They say that whoever's in charge of this circus, that they have to tell you what's happening to your face
Yeah,
through media,
yeah,
to balance their karma for doing shit. So they put things in movie. They say it is said that they put things in movies, and music and media that you consume, and that's why a lot of shit that happens in media has happened or does end up happening in real life. You know what I'm saying? They people speculate that that's why you see certain shit like that. So who knows? Your people's theories could be accurate. You know what I mean?
dude. Yeah, because
I at this point, like I said, man, who knows what the fuck is going on? That's why I try not to get like, even though I enjoy like theorizing and researching and looking into shit, like I still gotta be like, you know, grounded and shit,
yeah,
because it's like fun, it's easy. And when I like something, then I will get obsessed with it. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I'll try to feed
same.
myself as much as I can. So like I gotta like with that type of shit, man, I gotta like throttle myself a little bit.
Same. Then I'll go and watch like Logic Pro tutorials after an hour or two of that other shit because I'm
Yeah,
like,
man.
fuck, you're making yourself paranoid, John. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? Like, you gotta fucking chill out.
yeah,
Work
and
on
then
some art.
yeah, smoking just intensifies it too. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, gotta dial it back a little bit. Yes, sir.
yeah. The have you used Chat GBT?
Hmm. Nah,
Okay, man.
not at
I,
all.
I I tell all my friends, but any kind of it's like what Google could or should have been. Like when I
Okay,
ask it,
yeah.
like I want to know how to do this thing, it'll
Uh,
fucking give me all the steps on a computer, on any software, whatever. Like on this IT shit I'm going to school for,
yeah.
it just gives me the answer, and I'm like, holy fuck. And so my
Okay.
cuz is an electrician, and
Yeah.
I was like, bro, you got to download this app. And he's like, man, I had it for a couple weeks. I'm like, did you try to make it? Did you try to stump it? I was like, ask it some shit that's hard that you think it fucking wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, dude, it was on point every single time. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. I've not played with it at all. I just see posts here and there about what people do with it or what have you. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. One day I'll look into it.
Yeah, yeah. That's my that
Yeah, I
man,
don't
because
know.
it
It's
is.
pretty crazy.
It's like, am I feeding my fucking demise by searching all this shit? Like it because it feels like it is. Like it's and is it like when I
It's got a
ask,
good feeling.
yeah, dude, but it'll like when I ask it cannabis shit, it'll say I can't talk about that because that's illegal. And I'm like, oh, I'm in a state
Mm.
where it's actually recreational. They're like, oh, in that case, then it gives me the answer.
Right, right.
So it's weird,
Hmm.
dude.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'll have to do my due diligence for that too.
Yeah,
Like I
man.
said,
Check it out. And because
yeah, I
I
will.
know you play with intricate fucking technology and shit too, man. So
Yeah,
ask
it
it
could be
fucking
interesting.
some deep
Yeah.
shit. See what it says. Cause I've been tripped out so far.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, maybe I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that after this and see, man. Absolutely. Because
And
like I
then
said, I've not explored it at all, so it'll
and
be
then comparing it with Google too,
totally new.
dude, is like Google just try and sell the fucking results. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
whoever paid to be on that first page is what you're gonna see.
right, right. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's hard to find. It's hard to get like you know the results you want without really. It takes time now to get what you want on Google.
Y-
You're better off using a different search engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're getting way past an hour, dude. Can I ask you the one two-sided question before we go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the first side is what do you feel is the best move that you've made on the path to where you are right now?
Mm, the best move was probably not definitely being a father to my children. Not to be corny or cliche, but
Hmm.
that type of having to look after another life like that, and and then as time goes on, and you see like when another life form knows nothing except you, when that like actually sets in, and you realize like that responsibility, like it's pretty fucking crazy, and like a wake up call, you know what I mean? And so yeah, that's probably kept me from doing like a lot of dumb things, you know what I'm saying, or falling down different paths, because you're thinking about that other life, and not just yourself. And I think that mindset, led me in you know all the right directions to end up, where I'm at now. I feel so. Yeah, I think committing to be a father, is the most important decision
Very
for sure.
good answer, man. Very good answer. Yeah. Well,
Good
dude,
looking out, man.
this is 101 episodes, bro. Like that was a good one. You know what I mean? I asked that question to everybody.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
And so the other side of it is, what do you feel has been your biggest mistake on the path to where you are right now?
My biggest mistake is uh, being impatient. Uh,
Fucking
I'm
A,
I'm
dude.
I'm extremely impatient, and I want results immediately.
Fuck,
You know
dude.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I would like,
I
you know,
know what you're
like
saying.
just to be real. You know what I mean? Like
I know what you're
somebody, I'm
saying.
not I'm not scared to say that shit. Like like I'm impatient, man. And then even it's worse in today's world because everything is so instant. And like right now you can just get whatever you want now. So like I'm already like have that little seed of impatience. So I really like I've you know sullied you know, days and situations and you know what I'm saying? Things like that. Like nothing, I'm not like ruined anybody's life or anything like crazy, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like I've made things more difficult for myself than they had ever had to be, in certain scenarios and situations and times. And because I was like hasty, and I didn't put enough forethought into my actions before I took them and then ended up paying for it later. When the solution was obvious, had I just taken a little bit more time, you know what I'm saying, to sort it out properly. But impatience and being hasty is like my biggest mistake in the past because I'm not like that now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a lot more pragmatic and calculated and like cautious with movements and you know proceed carefully and you know what I'm saying and map it out before you go in and shit. But I probably like you know everybody's hindsight is 2020 and shit. So of course I'm gonna say that I'd be a lot further along in life if I had taken more time. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And it sounds like corny, like I said, and cliche, and like everybody says that shit, but that shit's true. You know what I mean?
No,
So
man, that's
yeah,
honest.
you know what
Honesty is the best policy, bro. Like,
I mean, I don't know, man. It would be nice if uh if that was reflected more in the big picture.
yeah,
But we could start here. You know what I mean? You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? A little bit. But episode 101, that's an important number too. I like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
man.
It
Yeah,
is, dude.
I didn't know that.
I'm
That's
glad you.
tight.
Yeah, and it's been, fuck, dude. It's been a long time. Like
Yeah.
20 January of 2022 was the last time. And dude, my apartment's
Okay.
in Spokane. My apartment's burned up, bro. So I was like in a
Oh
hotel.
man.
And then
Dang.
I
I'm
was in
sorry
a
to hear that.
hotel when I did it. You know what I mean? Like that was like 2 years ago.
Right.
So it's like,
Mhm.
man, the shit has that was a long time. But
Yeah.
it felt good to podcast, man. And it's like
Yeah, yeah. Right
somebody
on. Yeah.
I'm really a fan of your work, dude. So
Thank you. And likewise. Yeah. Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes,
And
sir.
it
And like
and
I say, man, please keep this keep this new sound coming. You know what I'm
oh
saying? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, rock
yeah.
and roll
Cause
for sure.
bro, I'm really digging it, man. It's fresh to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
To
Most
inspire and be
certainly.
inspired, bro. That's the
Yeah,
mission. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like it is. And same to you,
Yeah.
dude. Like when I listen to your shit, it's West Coast, but it's there's shit in there that I'm supposed to hear that's
Okay. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
learning that I'm supposed to hear that everybody else isn't saying. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right. Nah.
So
Thank you, man.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you for those things.
Yeah. Right on. Right on. I
Yeah.
appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah. But I'll get this edited and send you a copy when it's done.
Oh yeah. Please do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Right
dude,
on.
thanks for taking the time, dude. It means
Yeah.
a lot.
Nah. Thank you. Thank you for having me. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And yeah, man, just hit me up whenever. Well, you got my line. You know
I,
what I mean? So yeah, just bug me whenever, man. And like I said, I'll be in touch with that
Okay.
new mix. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
If I don't hear from you, I'll bug you in a week, man.
Yep. Yep. Hit me up, man.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Have a good rest of your day, bro.
Hey, you as well, bro. I appreciate you. Have a good
Yep.
one.
Later.
Right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 101, Concerned Dads Podcast. C Ray in the motherfucking building. Go and check out his new project. Um, yeah, just search his name and check out all of his shit. His catalog is deep, and it's dope. If you're a fan of rap, and even if you're just one of those West Coast motherfuckers, like just West Coast, and that dude, check his shit out. You'll like it. And even if you're not, if you want some compelling, mind boggling type shit, like he's saying, some real dope stuff, man. You can. It's not just catchy and melodic. It's deep. Fan of his work. Um, so that was it. This has been a Main Note and Joseph Street Enterprise production. Later.